Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today we're going to be working on the Colonial Raptor with the green strawberry additional parts. So what I've done so far is I've built the first engine completely. It's 4 pieces, plus I've put an LED down inside of it for engine lighting. Bring over the LED piece. Right now you can see that LED is burning in, but we'll switch over to the engine LED because I want to burn in the LED before I put it in the engine, because it would be really hard to get the LED back out and swap it. So there is what the LED looks like. There's actually some silver tape around it. And then this is the part for this is the photo etch part, or parts actually. You can see the LED really easily through there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the parts are, and then, well, I'll show you this one first, and then I'll show you what the parts are, talk through how they go together, and then I will pause the video and come back after both engines are done. And just to let you guys know, if you watch the HTM stream, this is actually being done during the HTM stream, so you can see, you'll have seen me doing the video prior to me actually releasing the video. So let me switch this back over to my burn-in LED. This LED I already ran overnight once, and that's the best thing to do with your LEDs, is run them overnight to burn them in. This is set up for a 9-volt system. So here is the photo etch that it goes together for the engine, and there is a lot to this. Not for the faint of heart. Really kind of cool the way they did this. So what you've got is, you got this larger wheel. Let's see, how does this go? This larger wheel, this wheel then goes on top. These 2 small rings go on top of that. Behind that, you then have this wheel, and this wheel on top of it. And then on top of this little tab right here, you've got these 2 little pieces. I put them all together with super glue. It is a very slow process. You do one side, then the other, and then you glue them together to get the finished product. And it actually has some depth to it. You can see right there. And you can see those little bitty rings. Those little rings, be very careful if you do this kit, cutting them out. You can't use the normal method, which is a number 11 blade and just slice through. You have to use a curved blade and rock through to get these, because the first one I bent right off the bat. The way I corrected that bend was I took the end of a paintbrush here, and I sat the part on there and just pushed it down to where, until I got it back into full round. So I'm going to pause the camera here, and then not sure if it'll be during the HTM stream or not, but I will be adding to this video in a bit, and we'll try and get it posted early next week. So I shall be back. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the second LED in. You might notice that this one is a little bit different than this one. That's because I put some foil tape down in there in the bottom. But other than that, they look pretty much the same. Oh, you know what? That's why that fit in there a little bit. I didn't realize I put a ring around this one. I did not put a ring around this one, a styrene ring. Forgot what I had done on this one when I got to this one. But it should be okay. The only thing I've got left to do on these, other than do the silver tape in here, is then drop this in, and it's kind of a drop. It's a little bit more complicated than that. you got to get it into place and then glue it. But you're going to want to do this with the light on so that you can center it up on the LED. And then the LED disappears in there until you turn it on. So these are complicated. Not for the faint of heart. Not so bad, actually. It's depending on how much you do. Because if you put the rings on, they're really good. They're really good details. If you put the rings on here and the little metal pieces right here, they can be complicated. But without those, they're not bad at all. And they look so much better than the kit part. A lot better. This you would have ended up drilling out the hole. It's not a big enough spot for a 5mm. It would have been probably a 3mm. This looks more realistic and is better for lighting. So that's where I am with the engines. I did notice one thing after I had put this engine together, and it's not a fault of Green Strawberry, it's the design of the kit. So this will slide in here like that. It'll go into the back of the ship. This is where the engine mounts. And then it's flat on this side. And it's also flat here. So you got to work something out. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a trench from the kit, from the spot where I've got the wires coming out here, run a trench down into here so that I can attach it. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that. I'd like to put a JST connector in there, but in all actuality, when I put this on here, the JST connector is going to be not really needed, because this is then going to go against the back here, and you can see there's no room, maybe a little bit of room down at the very bottom for a wire to come through and come up in here. I'm thinking also what I might do is just punch straight through this back wall here, which will have some photo etch and lighting on it. Punch through the back wall and go under here. I'm not sure how much lighting goes on here. I'll have to think that through when I do the interior. But that's where we're at with the engines. It's getting there. They're well, as always with photo etch, it can be a little bit complicated. The interior is going to be even more so, but I'm looking forward to it. The next step in the build, in the instructions, was to put this part together. This is part of the engine mount. The engines will mount on here. Let's see, does this go like this? No, this is this mount. Goes on, the engines will go on like this, one on each side here. This was okay, you know, building it and then realizing that I had not done the photo etch on top of these pipes was okay, not a big deal. You have to pay very close attention in the manual for the Green Strawberry parts. The instructions are good. It's just that it goes, here's step 1. You do this 2 times on the engines. Step 2, you start working on these parts, which isn't a bad thing unless you're following along in the instructions here, because step 2 is you start building the tail booms. Or actually step 2, sorry, or part C of step 1 was you put together the engine mount. The engine mount isn't addressed until step 4 here. Not a bit, like I said, not a big deal here until on here. But here it was a little bit difficult. Here it caused a little bit of issues because there's actually a second piece of photo etch in there. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Maybe a little bit. And I'm not going to bend these louvers the way they ask you to. I'm going to end up breaking those off. But I had to cut a hole here after this was put together because it's designed to come in from the top here. You cut the hole and then you put this part behind there. And I need to do some cleanup of the glue here. That's on me. But the part behind here, I had to kind of jury rig and fit in there as I could because I didn't put it in before I put these together. Not a bad thing, a little bit difficult. Let me see something. See if we can buff that off with my little sander here. Maybe a little bit. It is doing a good job of roughing up the photo etch, so the photo etch will take paint. I don't want to do it too much. I don't want to inadvertently break those louvers. And I did see on camera, you're not going to see the detail. In person, you can see there's 2 fans back in there. Not bad. Looks good. It's going to look a lot better than what was there before. And yeah, like I said, you have to cut that part out. It does not address the fact that it has to be done before this part goes on. After that, next step in the green strawberry instructions was to on the tail boom, and that has worked out really well. There are 2 pieces here, and again, you can see the glue. That'll all get covered up by paint. But you cut out actually you don't even cut out the grill. You put the grill right over top of that. I colored it black. I painted it black with a paint pen. And then I put the first piece on and then the second piece over top. These fit exactly on top of that part. They glue in there really nicely. And then, like I said, this is going to get painted. I put the black underneath it. Not sure if when I paint it, if it's going to disappear under the brown that I'm going to paint it. But I think it looks really good. This, got the most of the tail boom on. The next piece that goes on here is going to be, I want to say it's called, let me see I think that's the intake or what do they call that? It's the starboard cooling intake, which wide open like that needs something. The green strawberry parts that will go in there are really nice. They fit exactly. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit tricky to figure out exactly where they belong because there's no line in here. But that is the next thing that's going to go in there. And I think it's going to add a lot of detail to it. There'll be a screen back here in the back, one in the front. And then there was one other piece on here that I had not yet figured out where it went. Oh, that's something too. They address the grill under here, and then they address these. Oh, that's right. That goes into some intakes that are going to be on the front of the model up in here. So getting there. I think I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. When we come back on the next video I do, I'll have done more on the engines. They'll probably be painted. These should be installed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do doing a tan base coat over it. I'm going to cover this up. Probably going to do something black inside here or metallic. Do a tan base coat over top of this. Then I'm going to go and paint around the engine somehow. These parts should be the same tan. This might be silver. Not sure exactly where I'm going to go with the engines, but they're getting there. And nicely, the design that Moebius did is, this is a very modular kit. You build the engines, you set them aside. You build the tail boom here that holds the engines. You set it aside. You build the tail booms. You set them aside. And then later on, after you've built the interior and all that, you put it all together. I like the way this part goes on here. It's going to go on just like this. And then this part will go on like this. And then your engines will set right on top. This is actually the engine for over here, but it'll set right on top. Something like that. So that is all for this video. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you are liking my insight into the green strawberry parts. They're well worth it, I think. I've looked at these parts for a long time, and when I talked to them and they agreed to sponsor me, I was ecstatic because these parts add a lot of detail to the outside, and they will add tons of detail on the inside of the kit. So, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Take a visit over to the Green Strawberry website. Link will be in the description. And I will see you in the next video or stream.
Model mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Workman's model mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models.